Ayubowan, Vanakkam. I'm Vioni Dimel. This is Boston Lanka News, bringing you news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Conversation with the first Sri Lankan Bhikkuni after the lapse of 1,000 years. School supplies for children in Sri Lanka, helping hand from USA to children in the war-affected areas. Fundraiser in LA for Goodness Foundation, a huge success. In 1996, Bhikkhuni Kusuma became the very first Bhikkhuni in the order of Theravada in Sri Lanka after the lapse of nearly 1,000 years. The order of Theravada Bhikkhunis was first established in Sri Lanka with the visit of Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta in the year of 307 BC, the daughter of Emperor Ashoka of India. This order was mysteriously died out in Sri Lanka 1,000 years ago.
We are here with the Venerable Bhikkhuni Kusuma, who has pioneered the establishment of Theravada female Buddhist order in Sri Lanka. Bhikkhuni Kusuma was the first fully ordained Bhikkhuni after the lapse of 1,000 years. We are so honored to have her with us. Bhikkhuni, welcome to Boston. Bhikkhuni Kusuma, the order of Theravada Bhikkhunis was first established in Sri Lanka with the visit of Bhikkhuni Sanghamitta in the year 307 BC.
Yeah.
Now, why the Bhikkhunis tradition mysteriously died out in Sri Lanka 1,000 years ago?
I think the reason would have been the South Indian invasions. We had very many. That was the dark age when Anuradhapura fell as the capital, and the capital was shifted to Polonnaruwa. And there were large numbers of Bhikkhunis during that time, but they were forcibly disrobed, and because it was not safe to be in their monasteries, they were plundered. And then we don't find any more written records of Bhikkhunis, though of course before that we have rock edicts and many archaeological reserves that indicate the presence of large numbers of Bhikkhunis. And our own Mahavansa, the historical chronicle, and the Pavansa, they speak so much in the terms of their names and places and numbers. And they were arahants, the fully enlightened saints who walked the earth. That was the golden era, and it was lost after the invasion. The history records that after 900 years, the order went from Sri Lanka to China along the Silk Route, and that's Chinese history as well. And these nuns who went, they were Sara Bhikkhuni, and they braved the weather in these sailing ships, and after 3 months, dangerous seas they crossed and went and established the order in China. And that order has gone all over the Mahayana countries. In fact, all Bhikkhunis in the world today are descendants of Sri Lankan Bhikkhunis. So the same Vinaya tradition, the ordaining procedure in Mahayana countries remains the same as it used to be in Sri Lanka.
Bhikkhuni, we know that you have a very interesting life story. Could you please share with us your journey from being a housewife to a Bhikkhuni?
It's a long story. I even don't know why I became a Bhikkhuni, because there were no Bhikkhunis. Actually, I would have had the proper background, because I did 2 PhDs on the nuns, one on the nuns of Sri Lanka and one on the Bhikkhuni Vinaya. Why I chose those subjects is a mystery even to me. And somehow the idea came after I did the first research, that these nuns, the 10 precept nuns, do not belong to the order. They are not fully ordained. They are in a marginalized situation. They are not lay people and they are not ordained. So I thought it would be really good if you can establish the Bhikkhuni order so that they also become a part of the Sangha community. But I didn't see any prospects of such a thing at all. Finally, Ayakema and many other Western nuns held a big conference in Buddha Gaya, in India. And they invited me to participate because I was doing this research on the nuns. It was a nuns conference. And I didn't have the money to go. So because I have been working so much with the government to establish in the ministry, in the Buddha Sasana ministry, I wanted them to establish a section to deal with nuns. So I'd been working on that for about 10 years. So because of that, they gave me the ticket to, and there when I went to Buddha Gaya, I was selected to be in the Vinaya Research Committee. And then I had the chance to go to Germany and work with Dr. Friedgard Lottamosa. And then we also had a big conference in Sri Lanka. I was presiding at that conference at the BMICH, and about 18 different countries came. And the one topic of conversation was Bhikkhuni order. But I was a layperson. And somehow the idea came to a very renowned bhikkhu. He's called Mapalagaon Pulasara. And he was agreeable to start the order. I was merely teaching the nuns because I was a university person and training them to take ordination. I was sent to Korea to give a feasibility report whether their Vinaya is feasible to our Theravada Vinaya. And I found that it was absolutely correct. And then when I was in Korea, he rang me up and said he's come under fire. Everybody is against the Bhikkhuni ordination and the nuns are not competent because this is an international thing and a historical event. And he finally said, over the telephone, either you join this and give leadership, or we are going to cancel it. Then I had no time to think. I was so flabbergasted. I said, Venerable Sir, even at the risk of my life, I will join it. Don't cancel this because you will never get another chance. That is how I came to be selected for this. I had no idea that I was going to become a Bhikkhuni.
So that's
Must be providence. Huh?
Yeah.
A group of Sri Lankans living in the United States recently has come forward to lend a helping hand to the children in the war-affected areas to rebuild their lives. The group, Friends of Sri Lanka, has donated school equipment worth of 650,000 rupees to 200 school children in the recently resettled areas in Sampur and Nila Valley in the Trincomalee district. Gift parcels were presented to the children on 27th July 2011 at a function attended by the members of the Friends of Sri Lanka organization and Commander Eastern Naval Area Rear Admiral Jayanath Kalambage. We now join with Ganga and Senaka Senviratne, key organizers of this donation, who also attended the event in Sri Lanka. Senaka and Ganga, could you please tell us about the gifts children received and also your feelings when you were at the event?
Hi, Vayoni. Thank you for letting us be in your program. the impact that we gave to these children included book supplies and a pair of shoes. The book supplies, actually, we gave 10 exercise books, including some math books, pens, pencils, and instrument box. The feelings of these children were we were very sorry to see these children like this. In fact, when they came to us barefoot, that was a feeling that I could not help myself. It's so sad to see. They are definitely in need of everything that we can think of, not just the school supplies. So they were really happy to receive these gifts.
In your view, why the Sri Lankan diaspora should come forward to support the needs of children like this who are struggling to build their lives?
Yes, when we started this project, my wife and I wanted to just donate school supplies and school bags for just 50 kids in Sri Lanka, especially in Trincomalee. But when our friends found out about this program, they also wanted to contribute to the project. So we said that's fine, more the merrier. Then before we knew, there were 38 donors from our friends in New York and New Jersey, mostly, who contributed financially. And there were many others who helped in various other ways, even by ways of speaking a few encouraging words to keep us going. And some who arranging discounted school supplies from Sri Lanka. So there were many friends and family in tri-state area who helped us to make the project a success. Now that's from the US side. Now from the Sri Lankan side, I must say that Sri Lankan Navy took care of all the logistical and organizational aspects of the project. Transportation of the school supplies from the vendor to Trincomalee first and then to the schools. There were 2 schools that we donated. And also getting the school, the shoe sizes of these kids. 200 kids, you have to get the shoe sizes individually, plus providing accommodation for us who went to donate on behalf of the donors. So that was from the Sri Lankan side. And also one of the major shoe manufacturers gave us a huge discount, 50% discount on these school shoes. So from the day we started this project, all the pieces of the puzzle fell into the place to make this a success. Without their contribution, this project wouldn't have been so successful. So what I can say to the community, the diaspora and any other organizations, any interest groups here, what I can honestly tell you is go out there and see for yourself. And if you have friends and family in Sri Lanka, inquire and ask what are the hardships and what are the shortcomings that these areas have, what are the ways you can really help. Instead of spending the money, whatever you collect here, instead of spending it here, try to send it to the root cause without any overheads, and you can see for yourself. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this project is a minor project, helping 200 kids, but there are so many other things that diaspora members can do. For example, schools, hospitals, even a small ward of a ruined hospital, dispensaries, bridges, you name it, all the infrastructure, you have to rebuild it. That was destroyed in 30 years. Everything has to be rebuilt. So I hope the donors, these 38 donors and all the others who helped us in many ways, have set an example to the community and the diaspora to do more projects like this, even in a small scale, like what we did. In a small scale, that's still better than lighting a small candle, I believe, is still better than cursing the darkness.
Thank you, Ganga. Thank you, Senaka. That was Ganga and Senaka Senviratna from New York. The Gala fundraiser event in aid of the Foundation of Goodness was held at the Sheraton Gateway Hotel in Los Angeles last week. About 400 people attended the event, which according to some Sri Lankans in LA the largest fundraising event in the history of Southern California. The world-renowned cricket star Muthaiya Muralidharan, who also serves as a trustee of the Foundation of Goodness, was in attendance along with two outstanding Sri Lankan cricketers, Sanath Jayasuriya and Aravinda De Silva. The Foundation of Goodness is now poised to launch a program in the north that is identical to the successful efforts in the south. The new program will be headquartered in the village of Mankulam so that its outreach efforts can be spread to as many of the war-torn northern areas as possible. With the Foundation's help, Mankulam will become the central hub for humanitarian programs to generate the renewal, development, empowerment, education and employment that are so desperately needed in this area today.
The children who started their life in say 90s and 80s, they haven't seen electricity, they haven't seen TV, they haven't seen anything.
That concludes our news edition. We meet you again with another news edition of news, views and entertainment from Boston and USA. Till then, goodbye.